Hello everybody. You pretty much had to have air shocks. This car, it was done this way. So over here on the driver's side you have the Schrader valve, and on the passenger side you have the Schrader valve. You see, it comes straight from one straight down to the valve, to the shock. A friend of mine was fixing up a El Camino, and the El Camino had a set of old style air shocks. I don't really care if they leak. I don't really care if they even work. I do know that when they were on that El Camino, they were fine. The main point, the car had to have air shocks on the back of it. And since it had to have air shocks on the back of it, I figured it would be more fitting if it had a style that could have at least been on it. So I'm going to take these off and put those air shocks on. Those are Monroe, by the way. All right, so I've got to do a little bit of measuring and drill the hole over here and over yonder, and hook them up the same way they were. So I wanted to show you these a little bit before I drill the holes and try to put them in. These are the little Schraders or air shock valve cores or whatever you want to call them that was in this car when it was wrecked. This one still looks great. Even the little plastic nut and O-ring's fine. I've got new lines, so I think I can use this one. I'm not sure I'm even going to be able to use this one because this one's the passenger side, and in the wreck it jerked the cap sideways on this and bent this, so it might not work. So one of them might have to be swapped out to this one. But you can see that one's plastic and these are brass. So, and those are more like oil pressure lines, and those are black plastic. But basically they seal up the same. Have a little O-ring and the nut tightens up on it, so it should work. But I'm going to try to use these, but I have to drill a hole on both sides at the end of my finger. I'm not surprised by that. Both the valves leak. Let's try this again. All right. That's about 30 pounds. So really not much at all. Did it go up any? I'll have to wait until I watch the video. All right. Went back and watched the video. You can kind of see it come up a little higher than it went down when I got out of the car. So, I mean, that's hardly any air at all. And, you know, 90 pounds would put her ass up there, but I don't really want that. I think the minimum pressure on those is supposed to be, what, 25 pounds? So 30 will keep them from going bad and not really do anything. So, you know, I do certain things to this car that it don't necessarily have to have. Changing the front fender because I wanted a better fender, because I wanted the gap to fit better, is something that people understand. Changing the doors to get rid of the rigged door handles is something that people understand. So is the quarters. But when you get to doing things like air shocks that are 40 years old and stuff like that, a lot of people don't get it. But this is my car, and this is just the way I wanted it. You know, it's just the way I wanted it. It had to be like it was, and on certain things, within reason, you know. And putting the two that it had, that my dad put in this car when he was 20, it's just something I could do, and it's something that I wanted to do. So I would have used the shocks that it had if they had not been broken in half. Well, I mean, that's how much higher it was. It is. Right there. About 3/4 of an inch. They work. And I don't know if I ever actually showed you what the rear end looked like after I put that cover on it. But there's what that looks like. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Bye. I wanted to show you what else I did. If you remember from a video last year, I had 2 axle bearings fail and the seals started leaking. And when it did that, it absolutely soaked the brake shoes and springs and backing plates and drums and everything in gear oil. Well, I cleaned them last year, and I got about 1,000 miles out of them. But they started grabbing. And when I took the drums off, I don't know if you can see it, but there's black smears on those shoes. That's grease that was soaked into that material. These are Raybestos organic shoes. Well, they're a lighter color material, and there's little white specks in it. I don't know. I doubt, but you know, they're new, so I doubt that's asbestos. Also getting the parking brake working this time. You can see I've got new parking brake cables. I haven't gotten under it to put the cross cable in or the fix the parking brake thing, but that's going to get fixed.